Okay, so let's get settled on your spot. We're gonna ignore those dust bunnies. So bring those feet maybe a little bit wider than hip width apart. If you're squeezing something between your legs today, that book or block or Kleenex box, just set it where you can reach it. And let's ease on down to the back. Keep those knees bent. And just let those arms reach out long. Maybe tuck the chin into your chest. Let the back of the head rest on the mat. And just take a moment to check in here. Maybe start with those feet. How do those arches and toes and ankles feel? And then move up the legs, checking out the shin and the knees. Mine are a little achy from sitting at the desk. And just continue moving up your body, seeing what wants to move, what might be sore, what feels nice and open, crampy. We're not judging here, we're just checking in for our starting point for class. So we maybe know to work a little more harder in some places, maybe take it easy in some places, be careful. Then you can take those hands and place them on your belly. And feel if your breath is coming maybe from your chest, your back, your belly. And then use a few moments here to send that breath into your belly, making it just a little bit deeper and a little bit longer each time. This way of working our breath, moving the breath into the belly, just helps us move our focus from outside of ourselves, from those computer screens and other people. We're slowly moving into what do I feel like inside my body? What does my breath feel like inside my body? How deep can I make that breath? Then after your next exhale, you can drop your chin to the right side. Gaze comes to the right side. You can still keep those eyes closed. And just open the neck a little bit here. When you can't turn your neck anymore, maybe think about resetting those shoulders back down. And just let that chin hang there. And allow gravity to maybe help you out with that stretch a little bit. Then we're slowly going to move the chin back to center and over to the other side. Just letting that chin come down. Checking in with the other side of the neck. Maybe you're still feeling that breath in the hands and belly. Bring that chin back to center. Now here you have the option of grabbing something to place between your legs to squeeze them together. Or perhaps if you don't have anything nearby, just squeeze your legs together as well, as much as you can. Prop just gives a tangible object to help. So we're using this today to help engage our core a little bit. So as you squeeze the legs together, squeeze them toward the prop, feel how that helps you send muscle engagement to your front abs here. You can pick those feet up off the ground, still squeezing the legs together, bringing the knees up off the air, up into the air. We're gonna open those arms into cactus arms. And keep squeezing your legs together as you drop them over to the right side. So we're coming into a twist with the leg squeeze. So your legs are probably also gonna hover off the ground, because this is an active twist. Maybe you also feel the muscles of your side core working here. And then inhale, we're gonna come back to center, keep squeezing, you guys got this. And then we're gonna drop them over to the left side. Keep that engagement of the legs together. You might feel a little bit of shaking here, a lot of shaking with that core, that's all. But we're just turning on the stomach muscles early in our practice today. We're gonna come on up. Keep squeezing those legs together. We're gonna bring the arms hovering off the ground and shooting toward the feet, the end of the mat. So arms are hovering, fingers are reaching toward the end of the mat. You're gonna tuck your chin into your chest, bring your belly button into your spine, and then curl up the rest of the way off the mat. And see if you can feel, again, all the areas of your core. So that includes the front body, your side body, and even the back of your core. Can you feel anything kicking in your low back? And then exhale, come down. You can remove that squat, that prop, remove the squeeze. And just take a moment to feel all those areas, front, sides, back of your core. And we're later going to try and turn on these muscles without the block. So let's bring those knees back up to the chest, hands behind the knees. We're sitting in a little ball here. And if you choose, we're going to bring the belly button to the spine, give ourselves a little kick with the heels, and begin to rock on our mat. See if you can do that a little bit. And if it feels good, make those rocks bigger. And maybe you want to rock to standing, or you can pop yourself to standing however you want. We're going to widen those feet, widen the hips. Inhale those arms up nice and high. Really reach high, interlace the fingers, lift the palms toward the ceiling and press that ceiling away, reaching nice and tall and long. And then we're going to push the left foot into the ground and begin to side bend over to the right. Keeping that chest forward and just reaching long. If you don't like interlacing the fingers, you can let go and just really reach those fingertips long. Yogi's choice. Inhale, come up. Change the interlace of your fingers if it's there. Really push the ceiling away. Push your right foot into the ground and let's side bend the other way. Opening up that side body. Connecting with your breath. And then inhale, we're going to come up. Drop those arms, reach behind your back. Maybe you're reaching for the fingers or interlacing the hands again. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, put a soft bend in your knees and you're going to hinge at the hips, coming into a forward fold, hands behind the back. And you can keep that bend in the knees. I like to bend my knees a lot when I come down and then think about lifting my hips. So when I feel the stretch in the back of my legs, especially my thighs, you do not need to have a straight back for this at all, or straight legs for this at all, because we want the stretch to stay in the legs. And then move those arms away from your back body. Even if it's just a millimeter or two, have the energy going away from the body. And then we're going to release those hands down. Bring those feet back under the hips and then step back with the right foot to your low lunge. So right knee comes down. Take a moment to come on up into your lunge. Find your balance. Sink into that front leg. Let's inhale those arms up. Nice long spine. And then on an exhale, begin to turn to the right. Bring your, turn to the left, turn towards your front leg. Bring your right arm down to your left knee. And then your other arm's gonna reach behind, reach. And let it settle down so you're in a twisty lunge. If you're wobbling here in your balance, that's okay. That's part of what we're working here. So try pushing your front foot into the ground and your back shin into the ground to help firm your connection. And inhale, sweep those arms up, untwist. We're gonna bring those hands down beside the foot, tuck the back toes, and you're gonna step back to plank on the knees or plank on the toes, yogi's choice. Fire up that core, belly button to spine. Really push the ground away and slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Elbows underneath shoulders, forearms out long, spread the fingers, we're gonna come into Sphinx. So you can walk those legs apart. And here you can really work on letting the knees, the thighs, and the hip drop. Push your arms into the ground and really think about lifting your spine tall, pulling your chest forward. And when we're in Sphinx, this is a great moment to check in and be like, do I need a little bit less fire today? Do I need some rest? Do I need to focus on my breath? Or does my body need a little bit of fire, a little bit push and energy? So if you need more rest, I want you to stay here in Sphinx, focus on a deep, long breath. And if you need some fire, I want you to push your elbows into the ground, begin to lift your belly, your hips, and your thighs off the mat and come into a little plank on the knees, firm plank on the knees, and then slowly lower thighs, hips, belly. And I want you to do that a few more times to really pull that belly button to the spine as you lift yourself up, engaging that core, and then slowly setting yourself down. So neither one of these options is better than the other. We're just trying to find the one that works best for what our body and mind need today. And that changes sometimes a couple times in the day. All right, next time you're in Sphinx, we're gonna lower all the way down. Tuck those toes, widen those fingers, press on up to plank on the knees. And then we're gonna move the sit bones back towards the heels. Maybe walk the hands back a little bit. You're gonna tuck those toes and you hover your knees just a little bit off the mat. And then begin to push into the toes. Bring the hips up and come into your down dog. Those knees can still be bent. Think about lifting the hips and pushing the front of the mat away. And we're thinking belly button to spine today in our pose. We're gonna walk the feet forward enough so that we can put our feet more firmly on the ground, and you can widen those feet so they're standing on the edges of your mat. So you're in a short little triangle. Push the left hand into the ground, let the right hand float, and then reach that right hand through your body, twisting over so it can grab the right leg. Maybe you want to peek under your arm. Just enjoy this twist here. Keep thinking about raising the hips, finding your breath. Then we're going to bring that hand back to center. Push the right hand into the ground, float the left, bring it through underneath, twist toward the other way, looking for that leg. And find that breath, lift the hips. And we're gonna bring that hand back to center. We're gonna step the feet back together. And this is where, if you want the fire, stay in down dog. And if your body wants a little bit more rest and breath, you're gonna drop the knees wide, big toes together, and find child's pose. So whether you're in down dog or child's pose, I want you to inhale deep, exhale long. Your goal is to find that flow of breath regardless of pose. And honor what your body needs today to find balance. If you're in child's pose, you're slowly going to come up to down dog. And then we're all going to look forward and walk those feet toward the hands. Bend the knees, forward fold. Plant the hands, and we're going to step back with that other foot. The left foot goes on this time, stepping down into that low lunge. Finding your balance. Inhale those arms up nice and tall, reaching high. Inhale, reach. Exhale, begin to twist towards your front leg. Dropping the arm across the body, reaching that back arm all the way to find your twisty lunge. Inhale that tall spine. And exhale, push your front foot and your shin into the ground. Healthy balance. Embrace this twist. And we're gonna sweep those arms up and twist. Bringing the hands beside the foot. Stepping back to plank from knees or toes. Taking a moment to bring that belly button to spine, really embrace and engage that core. And then we're slowly gonna lower all the way down. Keeping that core fired up all the way down. Coming back to Sphinx. So as forearms come out front, you're gonna let the thighs and the feet relax. Hips relax, belly relaxes. Grab those fingertips and almost pull your chest through nice and proud as you lengthen the spine, lengthen the head. And then choose. Do you want to appreciate this nice big back stretch? Or do you want to appreciate the fire of a little extra core exercise? So doing a few more Sphinx roll-ups. And if you want even more fire, depending on your day, when you roll up onto your knees here, you can also tuck your toes, lift your knees, and come into a full forearm plank. And then you drop the knees, bring the thighs down on the belly, back to Sphinx. Now, if you're in Sphinx, just continue to think proud chest, long spine. The next time you are in full Sphinx on your exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Tuck the toes, widen the hands. Press the knees into the ground. Let's push up to plank from the knees. And move back into your down dog. Find your breath nice and long. We're gonna inhale forward, head forward. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Bend your knees, forward fold. And then we're gonna sweep our hands forward, sit the butt back, and find your chair. So you're gonna look down. If your toes are hiding behind the knees, move your sit bones back a little bit. We're gonna take a moment to lift those toes up. Challenge yourself to see if you can set the big toe down all by itself. And sometimes this feels like the impossible thing before breakfast. Or sometimes it's easy, so then I encourage you to try the index toe, the middle toe, wherever you are in this challenge. And then release the toes. Bring the hands to center. We're gonna inhale, long spine. Exhale, begin to twist to the left. Ooh, and use your torso all by itself, so your core moves you. So that core area, and then twist your upper ribs. And then maybe at that point you can drop your elbow down. We're trying not to torque ourselves with our arms. Inhale, come back to chair. Decide, do I want to rest? Come into forward fold. Maybe bend those knees and wiggle the hips. Or do I want more fire? You can extend your arms and chin. Then everyone's going to come back to hands in the center of your chest in chair. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist the other way. So turn low spine, mid spine. Keep going. Use your own core power. And then maybe set that elbow down. If you're shaken, you're building strength. See if you can focus on that nice deep inhale. Nice long exhale. We're slowly gonna unwind. And everyone comes into that nice forward fold with the bent feet, bent knees. Walk those feet wide, a little bit wider than hips. Bend the knees a bit more. Drop the head in there. And then maybe lift the hips again. Grabbing opposite elbows. Maybe you want to sway a little bit from side to side. Bend the knees, plant the hands on the ground, and we're going to step back with the right foot nice and long. Pivot those back feet so the toe is to the side of the mat, bend the front leg. We're going to come up to warrior two. Woo. There goes my balance. So take some time to push your front foot and your back foot into the ground, finding equal work here. And then reach those arms long. Inhale, nice long spine. Enjoy this strength building pose, both in the arms and in the legs. Straighten the front leg. Take a moment here. And then reach forward as far as you can. Reach, reach, reach. Pop the back hip. When you can't reach anymore, lower that front hand, the leg, and bring the top arm up into your triangle. Can feel a little strange, a little different. And I want you to almost think about presenting that chest forward a little proud, just like space. And see how that changes the pose. Find that proud. And then take this top hand, bring it down, bend the front knee. Step forward about halfway, we're gonna come into warrior three. So those hands can come forward, tent the fingers, lift the back leg. And maybe play around with lifting those arms. Depending how much room you have, maybe they're cactus, maybe they're forward. And you can choose to play with the balance here today, or maybe have a little fun with movement. So the leg that's up in the air, begin to bend that knee, bring it into your chest. As you see if you can come up to standing on one leg. Maybe you touch down. That's okay. See if you can stand back up. See your knees hovering off the ground. And then see if you can go back. So begin to lean forward and shoot that leg back. Find your balance. Maybe bring the hands down, come back up. And see if you can do that again. Moving from warrior three into standing with the knee up. So our goal here is to not do this perfectly. Our goal here is to play with our balance so that when we get knocked off balance from the ice, from uneven ground, our body learns to just respond to that quicker. So by failing in balance, wobbling in balance, we're actually making our response time better. And then we're all gonna bring those hands down, bring the foot to the ground, bend the knees, forward fold. And however that went, just shake it off, it's done now. And then we're gonna plant the hands, step back with the left foot to find warrior two on the other side. The awesome thing about yoga is we do everything at least twice a month on each side. And that's to help our bodies stay symmetrical, get more symmetrical, because that's also going to help us with our balance and to help reduce our injury rate in life. So feel both the front foot and the back foot press into the ground. Both of them are working. Straighten that front knee. Pause here. And then exhale, begin to reach forward. Reach, reach, reach. Reach, reach, reach. Pop the back hip, reach and lean. And then drop the bottom hand to the leg. Bring that top hand up. And then you're thinking about presenting your chest just like Sphinx. This is something that took me a long time even to get my shoulders stacked. So if you're down here and you're thinking Sphinx and you're like, my shoulders are still toward the ground, as used to be where I was, still think about just being proud, chest forward. And over time, you're gonna be able to open up that space. Yoga is this beautiful practice we see progress in over months and years. I love that. Okay, let's bring those hands down, bend the front knee, step forward halfway, and we're gonna find that warrior three on the other side. So tenting those fingers in front of the foot, picking up the back leg. And then you get to choose if you want those arms to stay on the ground, if you want them to come into an airplane, a cactus. And then once you're solid in that balance, let's play with that balance. So begin to bend that top knee in as you try and come to a stand, laugh at yourself, smile, have fun. See if you can concentrate and smile at the same time as you go back. And then maybe notice while you do this, where are those muscles really working? My foot arch muscles really work in this. I can just feel my foot straining here. Straining in a good way. Then after your next one, you can bring those hands down. Top leg comes to meet the front. You're gonna bend the legs in that forward fold. And just check in here with your body. Although my foot arch was working a lot in that movement, I can now feel my glute muscle a lot. So that was turned on there. And then we're going to bend the knees even more, press the feet into the ground, sweep the hands forward as we come on all the way up, standing tall, reaching high. Exhale, hands to heart center, arms by the sides. Let's take a moment to stand here and feel the effects of our practice so far on the body. What has worked hard? We're going to open those eyes. Feet can come about hip width apart. Arms are going to shoot in front of us just like a zombie. Nice long straight elbows. And you're going to come up on the balls of your feet. Hold on to those tiptoes, lifting the heels. So this here is a balance pose all by itself. If you come down, just try and come back up again. As many times as you need. And then reaching forward, begin to put a soft bend in those knees and lower yourself down. If those heels come down, try and pick them up again. If you wobble, use your wall or the floor for balance, try and get it back. And once you can't lower anymore, just see if you can hang out here a little bit, focusing on that breath in this toe stand. And then we're going to bring the hands down, come on to our sit bones. If you have that thing you want to squeeze again, bring it by your hip. We're going to do our boat pose now. So you can choose to squeeze those legs together on your own, or you can put a prop in between, a book, a block, Kleenex box. Looking around the room here, I'm thinking my speaker, but that might not be a good idea in case it falls. So let's set up those legs by squeezing the legs together or squeezing the block. Nice long spine, and let's walk those hands behind the back. So with squeezing your legs together here, your nice long spine, your belly button to your core, your belly button to your spine, this squeeze is just going to add a little bit more work to your core. You can choose to let those feet float up. Keep squeezing that block, makes it a bit more of a challenge. It reminds you to squeeze your legs, because if you don't, it drops. And then you have the option of releasing those hands. Still squeeze those legs together. Find that breath. And then let's release. Set aside your prop. Walk those feet nice and wide on the mat. And let's rotate windshield wiper our legs. Just letting the knees drop to one side and then the other. But I challenge you to try and move from the hip, not just from the knees. Notice that feels very different. Then we can walk those feet back in about hip width apart. Come down to the forearms and all the way onto your back. We're going to walk those feet in so they're closer to our butt. If I curl up, I can sort of reach the heel of my feet. And I'm going to come back down. For our bridge pose today, you also have the option of squeezing something between your legs. Although this one, it's harder the more narrow your legs are together. So if you do squeeze something, you might want it to be the long way. Or you may want to bring your feet wider and just not squeeze anything, but think about your legs, your knees kind of wanting to come together, like a magnet. So set yourself up. Really feel those feet connect with the ground. Arms connect with the ground. And then begin to push your feet into the ground, arms into the ground, lift your butt, your hips. And then using your butt muscles, continue to lift those hips up nice and high into your bridge. And then think about, instead of your legs just wanting to fall up to the side, almost think about them being attracted to each other in the middle, like a magnet. And see if you can engage those legs a little bit more. And definitely may notice a shaking bridge. It uses a lot of muscles and strength that we don't use a whole lot, especially working in an office or sitting in a classroom. So I expect shake in these. And then slowly lower your spine, mid spine, low spine, and then your glute muscles. And take a moment here to just rest, feel your back on the mat. Maybe notice if there's different sensations now after that stretch. We're going to try that one more time because this one's harder to teach over the internet. So we're going to get used to it today. So feel your feet connect with the ground, feel your arms connect with the ground. And then begin to push your feet and hands into the ground to help lift those hips. And then use your glute muscles, your butt muscles to keep lifting those hips up nice and high. Hips come up, back comes up, maybe your chest comes toward your chin. And as you get to your top of the pose, think about those legs really engaging and almost like they want to squeeze together. So they don't have to touch here, but the direction of the movement, can you make them want to move closer together? And wherever you are in your pose, just embrace where you are today. Know that you're strengthening muscles that don't get strengthened when you're sitting at the computer. And then begin to lower down upper back, mid back, low back, and your butt. And all the way down. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees drop out wide, so you're making a diamond with the lower part of your body. Then bring your hands to your belly. In back bending, we can hold our breath. We can take a lot of breath work as we're learning. So we want to go back to that nice, big, long breath. So picture your favorite color of balloon. Pop it in your stomach. And as you inhale deep and long, feel that balloon grow nice and big in your belly. And then exhale, let the balloon deflate nice and slow. Feel that belly fall. And then do those big balloon belly breaths a few times to your own breast speed. Growing that balloon nice and big. And then slowly allowing it to deflate. Feeling that belly come back down. These balloon breaths help us transition to a more chill part of class. And they're also a great exercise you can bring off the mat before a big presentation or something you have to do where you just want to calm yourself a little bit. And the balloon part just helps us visualize a little bit for visual learners. I also love visualizing my purple balloon because purple makes me happy. So I think the color sometimes helps too. Let's bring those arms out to the sides of the legs and bring them together. We're going to bring the knees into the chest. Bring the hands behind the kneecaps, belly button to spine. We're going to tuck the chin, come up a little bit. We're going to do a little rocking just like we did at the beginning of class. We're only going to rock up to sitting this time. Ooh. Or getting yourself to sitting however you want. It's meant to be fun. Add a smile. We're going to open to the side of the mat into a straddle. So your straddle doesn't have to be super wide. We're only going to where you feel a 70% stretch. So we're going to leave a lot of room there to grow. Your hands can rest on your legs, maybe behind you, and you're going to help that spine sit nice and tall. Close those eyes. And when you inhale, let the spine grow tall. And when you exhale, feel your sit bones really push into the ground and connect with that mat. So inhale, you grow. Create space. Exhale, ground the sit bones. And if you're finding it's really hard to extend the spine, then I want you to make your straddle come a little bit closer together. And try again. Inhale, create the space between the vertebrae. Exhale, feel your sit bones ground into the ground. And maybe if there's room here, you want to begin to hinge at the hips with that straight back, leaning forward. And if you're like, I can't lean forward and hinge at the hips, sitting tall is my max. I'm even sitting back a little bit tall, then that's where you are today. Wherever you are, focus on that breath. Yoga is a long-term project, a long-term body and mind practice. And so part of our practice is just accepting the fact that we don't get necessarily where we want to be right away. We don't get to be the most flexible or the strongest person right away. This takes time, consistency, dedication, and those have their own rewards in time. Okay, let's sit on up if you're leaning forward. Open those eyes. And then bring that right foot into your left thigh. Left hand's gonna come on the inside of your left leg, reaching out long. Inhale the right arm up. And exhale, begin to side bend. Maybe your left hand slides along the leg as you side bend over the leg. So your chest is facing forward. Just really feeling that reach of the hand. At the same time, you're trying to anchor that right hip down. Did you feel your hip stretch a bit more? So you're gonna reach and then pull that hip down. And if all of a sudden that made the stretch become more intense, you're gonna come out of your side bend a little bit more. Reach with the hand, sit with the hip, and then find that nice 70% stretch. And then slowly begin to move your left hand to the other side of your leg. And rotate your chest and your torso so it's coming down to face the leg, face the ground beside the leg, and lower the hand. So you're now in a forward fold over your leg. If you're feeling anything in the back of your knee, just micro bend your knee a little bit so the stretch moves into the back of your thigh, maybe into your low back, your mid back. And staying in that 70% place. You don't have to push yourself here. Let gravity just help you nicely settle into the stretch. We're gonna walk those hands back on up so we can sit tall. Open up to a straddle again. Hands behind. Inhale, straighten that spine. Exhale, feel grounded with the sit bones. And then we're going to move the left knee in to come into the right leg, other side. That's the easier way to put it. Sitting nice and tall. Right hand is gonna come on the inside of the right leg. Left hand's gonna reach high. And then begin to side bend. Maybe your right hand slides down your leg as you do that. Keeping your chest forward and proud. You're really gonna reach that arm up and over, but then think about grounding your left hip. Reaching that left arm, grounding the right hip. And I feel an extra stretch in that area around my hip, kind of connecting my butt muscle and my side body muscle, right? And then move your right hand to the other side of the leg and slowly begin to turn your chest. Move your arm down and you're gonna come into a forward fold over that leg. Maybe adjusting that forward fold, forward or back. Just somewhere where you feel like you're in that joyful discomfort zone. You feel the stretch, it's working, but you can still smile through it. You're not in any sharp shooting pain. But you still feel the work, it still might be uncomfortable. Because uncomfortable is different than pain. So an uncomfortable stretch can be okay. And depending on your body, some people feel this in the leg, some people feel this more in the hip or the back. Where do you feel this pose today? And then we're gonna walk those hands coming up to a seat. We're gonna bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide like we did in our back, but now we're gonna sit tall. So find a place where you can have your arms maybe resting on your shins or your ankles. And you're sitting nice and tall, closing those eyes. And again, coming back to just feeling on the inhale that you're growing your spine, making space between the vertebrae. And on the exhale, you're feeling your sit bones connect with the ground. And just focus on that cycle for a few moments. And if your mind starts wandering away to something else, just come back to inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground. And then from here, perhaps you want to hinge forward at the hips, just as an option. And then once you can't hinge anymore, I want you to return to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the sit bones. And if you notice any judgments creeping in there, any comparison or competition, maybe just say to yourself, that's judgment, that's competition. Just name it for what it is. Then maybe say something like, I'm here for my health. I am where I need to be. And then returning to inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground. And then we're slowly going to walk those hands back toward us so that we can sit up nice and tall. We're going to sweep those legs over so we're back lengthwise on the mat. Slowly lowering down onto those elbows, onto our back. Knees bent just like we started the class. We're going to bring the knees into the chest. And then begin to unbend the knees, bringing the legs up toward the ceiling. And then you can begin to bring the legs out wide. Kids classes like to call this dead bug. And then if you choose, you can curl up and reach for your shins or your ankles or the tops of your feet. And see if you can pull those knees out wide and down. coming into happy baby. So just like you see babies do, maybe you're rolling around a little bit, maybe you're still. You're like, I cannot reach my feet. Then just grab lower on your leg. And that also can help you ground your spine if you prefer that over rolling. And wherever you are, just go back to, where do I feel this? Is this a joyful discomfort stretch? Can I still smile here? And if not, just adjust the pose so you can get to a place where you can lift those little corners of the mouth into a smile. It's a good test to see if you're pushing yourself into a danger zone. You want to still be able to smile. And then let's bring those legs together. Feet to the mat. Knees are still bent. And we're going to bring the hands to the belly. Tucking the chin into your chest, reaching the neck long and setting the head back down. And we're going to end with a few deep, long breaths together. So as you inhale through the nose, make that balloon grow nice and big. Pause at the top just to admire that nice big balloon. And slowly exhale through the mouth. Maybe you're going to hear that this time. And try that again. Nice deep breath through the nose. Admire that nice full balloon. And then slowly exhale through the mouth. One more time to your own breath. And then we're going to walk those knees together, legs together. Reach those arms overhead and let those knees fall to one side, pulling us onto our side body, using the arm as a pillow. And I want you to take this moment to think of one thing today that you are proud of. Anything at all. And then press that top hand into the ground. Slowly come up to a nice, comfortable seat. Eyes closed, hands on the lap. Checking in with your body. How does it feel? Does it feel shaky, lengthened, content? Whole bunch of different ways you could feel. Just see what today's practice was for you. And we'll bring those hands together, heart center. Tuck the chin. And end with one deep inhale. Exhale, let today's practice go. All of it. Blow it away. And thank you very much for joining me on another Thursday at noon. I want to remind you to check out the social media channels, check out the SAS Polytech Fitness channel, leave a comment, and you're entered in our draw for Amazon gift cards for this month. It's just as motivation to participate, share the love of fitness with your classmates and your coworkers. And wherever you go today, have a lovely, lovely day. See you later.